What's up, guys? It's Ungodly here. So, another little quick basic guide. I'm going to go over the Hawkeye, or the NA, I think they call it the Sharpshooter. I think this is a great class. Not my top 5, mostly because it's not my play style. It doesn't mean it won't be yours. I did try it out. I did my best. It's just I'm way more aggressive than this class requires it to be. Nonetheless, I think this class has great poke potential 3v3. If left alone, you just do an incredibly amount of damage, especially on 2 of your skills. You can rip through armor so easily. And yeah, no, let's get right into it. So stat points. I like to put agility 1,000, subdue 249, and then 1 point in crit. The 1 point in crit is, so the way I understand it is that if you have 0 crit, that means you have 0 chance of critting. If you have 1, you at least have some chance of critting. And if you get a lucky crit in the midst of the chaos, it could be the deal to make or break in a fight. Atomic Arrow, I'll put 10 points into it. I get Quick Hands, Heavy Bomb, and Long Fuse. Quick Hands, again, just pop the skill as fast as possible. It's part of the combo. Heavy Bomb is just the arrow reduces the movement speed of the enemy before the explosion, just in case they want to move or you want to use it kind of as a filler in the midst of the fight. You can always just bop that. And then Long Fuse is just to increase the damage. So, Move and Cut is just a mobility skill, just to kind of get away from the fight. 4 points, get increased distance. Claymore Mine, it's going to be one of your biggest setup right here. Quick Hands, increase the cast speed. Thunder Lightning to give you the shock instead of a knockdown event. And then Storm's Tremor, and the explosion becomes fanned. The cooldown is a little bit higher, but it's definitely worth it. There's one of your big damage skills right here, Charge and Shot. Put it quickly prepare so you can get better cooldown, so you can use it more often. Double Shot for 50% more damage. And Instant Explosion, and I'll explain to you guys in a second. But basically, Instant Explosion, instead of just being a straight line, you kind of have a little area, a small AoE where you're going to be using this skill. And depending where you set yourself up, and once you get used to it, it can be almost considered as a skill shot, not a skill shot, but an instant skill. Persistent Chase, another mobility skill, is just to really get away from the enemy. Max Jump, Tenacity, so when you're trying to get away, you don't get CC. And then Cling Shot, that if you do land on an enemy, they stay on the ground for a little bit longer. Cyber Dagger, I mainly use this one is just to get myself invisible. It's one of the fastest cooldown skills that puts you invisible. And it's good. I don't necessarily use it to hit anybody. It's mostly just to add that 30 units of concentration so I can, pop my Hawk right away, and also to be able to go invisible. Then Shadow Arrow, one of your biggest poke abilities. Anybody that has ever played this game knows that Shadow Arrow is hands down the most cancerous skill ever. If you stay away from a Hawkeye or Sharpshooter, you're most likely going to be using Shadow Arrow on you. And the biggest thing here is Shadow of Abyss. You lose 50% of your vision. And it's so good. And then Shadow Chaser, your arrows becomes homing, so you don't have to so much skill shot it. You just have to shoot in the general direction of the enemy, and you should hit the enemy. Some people like to do rapid charge over the rapid arrow. It's up to you, whatever prefers you the most. And then one of you, if not your biggest hitting skill, which is Snipe. It's a charging skill. The way I set it up is, of course, faster cooldown, so I can use it more often. Perfection, it decreases a bar that I'm going to be charging it up, but it increases my damage by 40%. And then Easy Prey, so the duration of the ideal moment increases again, but then I also gain critical strike chance and critical damage if it crits. The ult, I use Summon Storm. I consider it as more like my oh shit button. If for some reason I'm in the midst of the enemy, somehow I got myself in there, or maybe they're about to die in the 3v3, press V, watch that AoE do a nice amount of damage. While there's CC in there, you can also use your Snipe shot and already probably get 1 or 2 enemies in there. It's really nice. I prefer that over the Message of Fenrir, but you might like this one. Try it out. Try it out both. It never hurts. Let me go ahead and show you guys the skills. So, right off the bat, unfortunately, you can't see the CC that he does on the Shadow Arrow. but you can shoot it on upwards and you will still find the enemy, and you can just continue it. If you shoot it 3 times and it lands, that's also a stun on the enemy, which is really, really good. Again, you can just keep harassing the player if they want to stay away from you. You hit them, now they're slow. Now, the next skill is Atomic Arrow. Just pop it, it takes a second. You might even forget about it, and then causes them to take a knock-up, which is really good. The burn is just an extra. Your next skill is a Claymore Mine. AoE followed by Paralyzing, which is also another stun that you have. Charging Shot, this is the skill I told you. So if you look on the ground, he charges by steps. And then the last step is where the biggest damage is going to be. Cyber Dagger, just so you can go invisible, you gain mobility at the same time, and it fills up your Falcon meter or your Hawk meter. You have Snipe, again, just finding it at the right time, and then you do a nice amount of damage. Persistent Chase, just mobility, and the last one is going to be Move and Cut. Some of the basic combos that is done and very often is as a sharpshooter or Hawkeye, you have to play somewhat defensively. You don't want to always be on top of the enemy, mostly because your skills, the good ones at least, they're not necessarily instant. So what you want to do, you can use your arrows, just kind of force the enemy. Once they're stunned, go ahead and charge a shot. That's one. Very simple little combo. You just kind of get both of them in there. Another one that you can do is you set up your Claymore, followed by a fire arrow, explosive arrow, and then snipe while they're still CC. Remember that the atomic arrow will slow the enemy. So if for some reason they get out of the CC and they try to dash, because they're slowed, that snipe, as long as you follow through, you should be able to get them. So it's not a bad choice. Same thing applies to these three. It's kind of like your starter class, like your starter skills. So you want to use your shadow arrow, and you can do the same thing as well. Just pop all three if they're stunned, followed by that, and then charge it. Once you have your Falcon is kind of like your your gap filler. He's going to be constantly attacking the enemy. He's going to be staggering them if they're not attacking. In the meantime, you can use Z for a side attack, just a little extra damage. And then a big final attack is kind of a filler. So you set up your Claymore, do atomic, and as you charge in this, you can, and then you go through. But alright guys, just a quick little basic. If you want more advanced skills, let me know. I'll keep working on this class. This class is one of the most unfamiliar with. It's also not so much my playstyle, so don't enjoy it. I hope you guys liked the video. I'm going to try to make a basic guide on every class so you guys can have a baseline of what you want and the idea. Again, this is mostly PvP. I might even try to do a little PvE series if you guys want, but let me know in the comments. Thank you.